Okay, we got it coming up here. This is the Sights and Sounds of Earth. You are in the right place, and this is the right time. I'm getting my chat room up now. Getting everything going. Resetting my sound, as I always have to do each night. Thank you, Bill Gates and Windows. Alright, this is Starship Studios, and we are live tonight. And as we are pretty much every night. And tonight we're going to be checking on a lot of really cool stuff. So far tonight, what we're going to be talking about, that monster cluster of sunspots. They are directly facing Earth now. They have a complex magnetic field, and they are cocked, locked, and ready to rock. Are they going to go off? I don't know. 50-50 chance at this point. We just have to wait and see. Hey Victor, hey Bill, hey neighbor. Welcome in, guys. Tonight on the big board tonight. Hold on, let me mute that. Jesus. On the big board tonight, we've got upper left, Kingston, in Philadelphia. I've just got that up tonight. About once a week I put this up. This is from OMG Live TV. And they put up feeds of basically all the heroin addicts that live on the streets. And this scene was great about 10-15 minutes ago, and now all of a sudden it's something's happened. I don't know, whatever. It'll come back, or I'll switch it out. The second one there, Kilauea volcano is erupting right now. Nothing major, but it is spewing, and you can see that live right there. It's still light out there in the middle of the Pacific. And Washington, D.C., upper right. This is from earlier today. I think it's calmed down there. I can't find anything live right now, so I do believe it's calmed down there. Also, I got Times Square. Nothing going on there right now, but it is busy down there. And then there is some unrest in New Orleans, and so I've got a snippet up here from a channel that's covering that back and forth, so hopefully we'll get something there. That was still going on as of a short time ago. Some unrest in New Orleans, believe it or not. Okay, hey Carlotta, welcome in. And thank you everybody for being here. I do appreciate it. Alright, let me set a couple things here. Would you guys believe I literally have about a 400-pound pig in my neighborhood, and it lives down the street, and every day it goes for a walk all the way around the block. It goes all the way around the block. Sometimes it stops here and says hi, all the way around, and it just walks along the road. Everybody knows it's there, you know. His name's Wilbur. Of course, all pigs are named Wilbur. Hey, Heath. Yeah, Heath, I was going to call you today, and I got busy. But listen, I'm going to have to buy a new mount or something. My performance on my HF has gone down every day since I bought it. And when I was up, the whole time I was in Georgia, it was working great. On the way home, it was pretty good, but I noticed a little bit, it was decreased somewhat. Now, over the last couple weeks, I put the radio back in the car. It's still there. I'm going to probably go get it out before I go to bed. And it, as of the last as of the last time I had it in the car, and now this time, it won't SWR out on any of the ham sticks. So something's wrong. I can't talk on it anymore. So what I'm going to do, there's rust all around the ring on there already. So I'm thinking about buying me one of those triple magnet deals that has the screw that goes on it. That's probably what I'm going to get, I guess. I don't know what else to do at this point, because right now I'm kind of screwed. But I went out today to do some HF, and I got it all hooked up, and then I'm like, yeah, it's just not working. I can't find any breaks in the wire. The plug looks okay. The only thing I can find is the You know, there's the piece that goes on there that it screws down in. It's like a stud with a female that receives the antenna. Underneath that, there's a washer. That washer is completely rusted out. And so I'm thinking tomorrow, if I have time, I'm going to take it off. I'm going to see if I can just take it apart and see what's going on in there. Well, there you go, neighbor. If nothing else, even if you decide it's not for you or whatever else, that radio will still be something great to have in that go bag. Charge it every couple times a year. Make sure it's ready to go. Keep the charger in there with it. And then if something big ever does happen, you've got it with you. Remember, these cheap Baofeng radios that we're always talking about for 20 or 30 bucks, they pick up all the FM broadcast channels. So you can get your local news on them. They pick up the NOAA weather radio, GMRS, FRS, MRS, MURS, amateur radio, marine band. You just can't go wrong with these. You do have to program them, and I'll help you with that. But they're definitely worth having, and especially these new ones that are actually putting out 7, 8, 9 watts. It's a pretty powerful radio. You don't want to key that thing around your equipment. It'll mess it up. 8 or 9, 10 watts is a lot of power. Yes, I haven't ordered that stud. I don't know. Yeah, it's 3H24. I looked it up earlier. I tried to see if I could get it online again. I'm also looking for a different mount. Like I said, I think that mount's my performance problem. I really do. But yeah, I'm going to order that. The ham sticks are working great. I'm going to have them until I see you again. So I haven't been in a rush, but I do need to order that. I did look at it today because I was looking at the tri-magnet mounts. Because I've got a quad magnet mount, but it's got the PL239 or whatever on top, and it's the wrong connector. So I need to get one of the big triple ones, and I can put on there that I can screw these ham sticks and also the Tar Heel on, for sure. Okay, anyway, so there's a lot going on tonight. We got monster sunspots now facing the Earth, but right now there's not a whole lot going on. The solar flux right now is over 200. The K index has calmed down some over the last 24 hours. Tonight's pretty good for radio. I'm seeing a lot of, a lot of 20 north and south from South America, a lot of 40, and believe it or not, a lot of 80 between the United States East Coast and Europe right now. And so that seems to be the preferred band. The Pacific Coast out to Hawaii right now, 20 meters seems to be the best bet. And but yeah, there you go. All across the country, the bands are pretty well open tonight, and not near as bad as the other night when the electromagnetic field was at a K4, where it was disturbed. Today it's lower, and what we're finding is it's not near as disturbed. In fact, wait a minute, I actually have that now. Let me see if I got, didn't I get that put in here? Look at that right there. Oh, I'm so amazing. Okay, there we go. All right, there's your solar report right there. Currently, your solar flux index is at 200. And that's pretty good. Anything over 200 is considered good for radio. And then there's your K index. K index of 1 right now. That's really good. When you get down to 0 and 1, notice the geomagnetic field showing very quiet right now. That's at the very bottom there. And that auroral latitude, that's how far down you will see the aurora. And it's 66.5 degrees north is as far down as you have a chance of seeing the aurora tonight. All right, and there's some other cool information there, but the two big numbers we're looking at every day with this is the solar flux index, we want it high, K index, we want it low. And there you go. That's for good radio. And then so we've also we're looking at these. We're looking right down the barrel of these sunspots right now. And let's see here. Let me pull that up for you so you can see that. Okay, there we go. There's our sunspot clusters. You can see we've got a little cluster up there, 4299 on the north side. We got two central ones, 4300 and 4295. Now, 4299 and 4300 have already produced X flares, and they're both turning around now to become facing Earth. Plus, we've got 4296, 4294, and now 4298. All three of those are harboring complex magnetic fields that are ripe right now to go off. So any of these things that go off in the next 36 hours, we're looking right down the barrel, basically. So this could be an opportunity for a big solar flare, maybe a big aurora one night in 3 or 4 days from now. We'll have to see what happens. Also, this stuff could slide right off the western limb and be gone, and we'll never know the difference. It's over with. So it's one of those things we're just waiting to see. The forecasting shows that, yeah, the magnetic field is there for a very dynamic explosion. However, there's no way to know for sure if it's going to happen or not. So there you go. Yeah, and tonight's show is brought to you by cats. Yeah, all kinds of cats. We got cats everywhere, cats. I got Mama Kitty here, Mama Bleep, and I got Daddy Kitty. You gonna say hi, Daddy Kitty? Say hi. They don't talk on command. They're just like babies. All right, so anyway, there you go. We are live tonight at Starship Studios. My name is Ian, and this is our show that we call The Sights and Sounds of Earth, right here on the YouTube channel Starship Adventures. And we are broadcasting tonight on the largest broadcast platform in the world, YouTube, worldwide and into space. All right, so there you go, guys. And tonight we're talking about the very large sunspot cluster out there. There's a bunch of sunspots right now facing Earth, and it's a wait and see, guys. It could happen during the show. Who knows? It's a wait and see. So there you go. Now, as far as weather goes, well, that's a whole other story. There's not really a whole lot going on right now on the radar Omega, but let's take a look anyway. We've got one storm chaser on the map. One storm chaser on the map. He is up here near Cedar Rapids, Idaho, or wherever the hell this is. I don't know. In this Cedar Rapids, what state is that? Jesus, I don't even know. Yeah, Cedar Rapids, Idaho, near Des Moines. And he is out here, and he's tracking this snow cell here that's coming from west to east. It just came through Altoona and Des Moines, and is moving now towards Cedar Rapids. It's about to snow really hard in Cedar Rapids, and we're seeing that there in that window right there. Our storm chaser that we have out there tonight, yes, Kitty. Why is it not coming out? Oh, I guess because I've already got him up. It is Vince. Vince from WXI. Vince from Weather Eye. All right, so there you go. WXI, EYE. All right, so there you go. That's Vince. All right, and he is in Montour, Iowa. And like I said, all this is coming into Cedar Rapids. So there you go. Oh, did it? Yeah, it does that. They put these cameras up and they run on solar power, and every now and then one of them gets taken out by a by a rock that's been thrown into the air, and it comes down and hits it, or also just by a lava flow or something. 29 tonight, Victor. There you go. I hate to say it, but it's not going to be near that cold here. We do have a front, but the front's kind of stalled out right now, and so I don't know. It's kind of one of those weird things. normally this time of year the fronts make it all the way down, but sometimes they kind of stall out in North Florida for a couple days, and then they'll make their way on down. It's a balmy 70 right here, right now. 70 degrees, yes, and we've got a fairly high humidity as always, but it is down some. Our pressure is currently 30 inches even, visibility 4 miles, and our clouds are partly cloudy. But yeah, our dew point, our humidity, 97% right now with a dew point of 70. So we are at our dew point right now. The dew is already setting in the grass. It's only 9:21 at night, and we are at our dew point right now. That's what happens when you live in the tropics. Hey, Old Fashioned, what's up? Hey, Gator, Junior, how you guys doing? And W. Fraser, I hope I'm saying that right. Welcome. 3 feet of snow there north of Toronto. Damned lake effect snow. It is a neat phenomenon that I would like to see, but yeah, it's a bitch if you got to live in it. Possible Arctic blast next week, maybe even down to Florida. Well, hey, there you go. Let me take a look. I got my 10-day forecast right here. Let's see what we got. Let's see if we got a cold snapper coming. Let's see. Yeah, we've got some nights in the mid 50s, low 50s coming up. Wednesday, Thursday in the 50s, and then Sunday, Monday next week in the 50s. So you know, a little chilly for down here, believe it or not. But for the next 10 days, no 40s, no 30s, just 50s at night, and our daytime temperatures in the 70s the entire 10 days. 10 days, 70s. This is the time of year that people want to be in Florida. You know, a lot of people, they come to Florida, that we call them snowbirds, and we don't hate these folks. I know it seems like we do, but we don't. But our snowbirds come down, and they live down here during the best 6 months of the year, and then they lock their shit up and they go back up north. We have big companies down here that watch people's houses and make sure people's stuff stays okay while they're not here. And they go back up north for the summer up there. The summers down here are brutal. It's 96 or 97 every day. And the only relief you get is starting in July and August and September. In those 3 months, June's a bitch because it's hot and you don't get a lot of rain. But starting in July, the rain starts to pick up down here. And what ends up happening is every day, 96, 97 degrees, then these big thunderstorms come up and wash everything out. But we all pray for the thunderstorms, because if you don't get a thunderstorm, it never drops below 80 degrees at night. And your air conditioner ends up running all night long. It'll be 84 for a low. We have that sometimes in August. However, if you get a big thunder boomer at 6 p.m., then it's going to be a nice 74 degree night overnight, and your air conditioner will get a break. Yeah, we're at 97% humidity now, and we're at the dew point, which means that within the next hour we will be at 100% humidity, and we will stay at 100% humidity until about 9:30 in the morning, when the dew will finally start to burn off the grass and the humidity will start to go down. Yeah, well, they do, but you know what? If you've earned enough money in your life and you're able to do it, that's the way to do it, brother. You know, we have got absolutely perfect weather down here in the winter. The coldest it ever gets is freezing, and I mean every other year I have ice on the windshield a couple times. It's not a big deal down here. A lot of times we go an entire year without ever getting down to where we have frost or freeze. Other years, we had one year when I was at the fire department in the 90s, right around Christmas. we had 2 nights in the upper 20s and a daytime that barely broke out of the 30s. That's the coldest I've ever seen it down here. It was Nordic. I don't know how else to explain it. It was crazy. It was like the Arctic came down. But it doesn't normally do that here. We go whole years without freezing. So I saw a flurry here one time out on Burnt Store Road on a traffic stop when I was a cop. We saw it in the spotlight on the cop car. Trust me, it wasn't sticking anywhere. Yeah, there's nothing going on there, just crackheads. I was just finding stuff to put up. I had an issue getting on tonight. ChatGPT took almost 10 minutes to create my meta package. I don't know what's going on with that stupid ass thing. I'm just about to quit using it. I'm trying to switch over to Grok. I like the way Grok does things. So I'm probably just going to be using Grok, but I went back and did it tonight, and there we go. Anyway, and also, I had several other issues getting on tonight. That's why I was a few minutes late. I tried to get on right at 9 o'clock, but anyway. Hey, the Lone Silencer, what's up, buddy? Hey, Simplex, welcome in. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we take care of our snowbirds. Certainly. A lot of them do. They hire high school kids to mow their grass while they're gone all summer. A lot of them hire companies, though, that come out and check the house and monitor the humidity in the air and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it does. And actually, it probably gets better ratings than CNN, too. Have you seen CNN's ratings lately? Oh, my God. I think they're going to go out of business. All right. And you know what? There was a time... I don't want to get into media bias tonight because that's a whole night, and I don't want to do it right now. But it's just not working for these people. MSNBC, CNN, their numbers are atrocious right now. And even broadcast TV is not doing well in the ratings. You looking at the camera, Mama? Hi, what you looking at? You looking at the folks at home? She's so sweet. She's the sweetest little thing. She was completely feral when she wandered up here. I have a way with cats. And now she's my baby. I mean, she likes to be held and babied. How you know, do you guys realize the transition between feral cat, completely run from me feral, to wanting me to hold her and carry her around like a baby? I mean, that's a lot. It's taken years. Oh, there we go. Big Ten title game, UFC on the big screen. Well, there you go. Well, I appreciate the patronage. Trust me, it helps me out. Even if I'm just on a side screen, and even if I'm just background noise, it still helps the channel and the algorithms, and that's always helpful. Mama Bleep, they're talking to you in the chat room, Mama Bleep. You, yeah. So anyway, yeah, I guess I didn't pick a very good crackhead one tonight. And that New Orleans one, they were showing a protest on there, but that's moved on to something else now, I guess. The problem with this stuff is most people go live. They go live with their cell phone battery, and it lasts about an hour. People think, oh, you know, I can go 24 hours without charging my battery. Not broadcasting. I mean, when you're broadcasting high def to YouTube from your cell phone, plus using the screen on full brightness to see your chat room without a charger hooked up to it, you're screwed. I'm just telling you. They need this is what they need. No, it's not a bomb. It looks like one. This is this goes on my tripod. I got these. Remember I told you guys I was getting the little scrunchy ones? This goes on the tripod so that it can go into the camera that's on the gimbal, and it goes into the internet all set up right there, and then there's a bunch more ports on there if I need them. But this is what you need, because what ends up happening is they go online and they start going live, and they prematurely go online. They blow their load, if you will, too early. Their battery load too early. And they end up going live, and then by the time shit starts happening, their battery's dead. I'll never understand how people can claim to be any kind of YouTube content provider and not own a $26 battery like this. This thing right here will keep you in the game. And I don't care which one you buy. I'm not selling a certain one. I happen to like this one because it's red and it works really well. You can put this in a pocket, you can put it in your bag, and you can run the wire out, you can run it over to your tripod. You can do what I do. I actually have a bracket that holds it on the tripod. And then this goes up, and then this goes up, and then I can plug anything else down here that I have into it. And oh, it also runs my lights. I've got 2 or 3 different size lights that are RGB, LED, plus all the whites. And they plug into this as well, and they can hook onto my tripod. So if I'm going out at night, I actually can run the lights off of this too. And with this, I could go live, and I could stay live for 8 or 9 hours before everything starts going dead. So that's what people need to do. And if it's going to be a bigger show and you're going to run more power, you get one of these bitches. Look at that. They ain't no messing around. This thing provides all kinds of power. This thing will run the internet and cameras and lights for days. Okay, we tested a battery half this size, and it ran a camera and a internet connection, and the camera stayed online 24/7 for 4 days, I think, before it finally went offline. And that was a battery half this size. So this one here, this one can run for a very long time. So like when I do a parade coverage, I can sit this battery right there next to the computer, and I'll be able to run everything right off of here, except the computer. The computer I'm having a problem with. I've been looking at how I'm going to power this computer, because this is my biggest problem right now. The computer has a 100-watt power supply. This is 100-watt USB-C, okay? Now, this is not any of your average USB-C. I plugged that computer into my batteries. I plugged that computer into anything else, it will not charge. It has to have this. So, I went online today and I started looking. They didn't call it a buck converter, but it's like a buck converter. Basically what it does, it's going to convert 12 volts down to whatever this voltage is at 100 watts, basically. And that I could plug that directly into my car and then plug that directly into my computer without any adapters. The reason I'm having a problem right now is because I'm trying to run this off of a 110 volt adapter. That is about the most inefficient thing you can do, okay? Other than maybe run the heat and the air conditioning at the same time. I mean, that's how really inefficient that is. You're converting energy from 12 volt up to 110 volt alternating current, and then you're converting it back down to this voltage at a different current. It's wildly inefficient. Because of that inefficiency, it can't provide enough power to work. So what I'm going to have to do is buy a power supply that's designed to work in the car and convert 12 volt direct current directly into what this needs to charge the laptop. And I'm going to probably order it tomorrow. So that's where we're at with that. I just wanted you guys to know, because that's the weakest link right now. I can't charge the laptop. And that laptop, when I'm sitting there typing and doing email responses in my lap and there at night, I'll go sit in the bedroom at night, or even sometimes in the morning. I've been taking the laptop in there. It's been great to be able to just lay in bed for 30 minutes in the morning and start answering emails and start my work without actually having to get up and start my day yet. It's kind of been fun. I haven't had a laptop for a while that's good like this, and so it's been nice to be able to do that. And the laptop seems to last a while. It says it lasts for 9 hours on a battery. I think that's if it's asleep or something. But I can easily get 3 or 4 hours out of it under normal use. If I was sitting on a plane typing a book with the screen at half brightness, I probably would get 4 contiguous hours of work out of the thing. It's not bad. I'm not complaining. However, to put it in the car and do broadcasting with the screen on full power, plus transmitting and receiving over its Wi-Fi, plus powering cameras. That's another thing. I'm powering 2 pan-tilt zoom cameras and 2 other cameras, and 1 camera and 1 capture device. All this stuff uses juice. You see what I mean? So everything I just mentioned uses up power from the computer. When I go into full broadcast mode with both cameras and everything, and I'm live on YouTube and all that, it discharges that battery in just about 1 hour. And it's dead gone. And it takes a couple hours to charge back up. It charges fairly quick on the proper charger. However, I need to be able to have something that's going to work contiguously in the car, just forever until I shut the car off. And that's where I'm at. So we're going to have to figure that out, and that's what I'm working on. But I think I have it figured out. I'm going to go ahead and buy this. It's about $25. I can go ahead and buy this and make sure that it's going to work. And then as soon as I'm sure it works, then I'm done trying to figure that part out. I've got that figured out. But that's been my little stumbling block. Everything else I have, all my lights, everything but the two-way radios. Now I'm not talking about the two-way radios, but all of my lighting, all of my peripherals, all of my chargers, all of my phones, all of my adapters, everything, all of it works off of my USB batteries. Every bit of it. Minus 1 or 2 things that work off the 12 volt in the car, like the antenna adjuster and things like that. So I don't need 110 volts in the car. The only reason I was putting these converters in the car was to convert power to this thing, and it was double converting and it wasn't working. So we're going to fix that. That will fix it. The other thing I'm doing is I'm building a deck for the right seat. I go get Mom every other day. So this has to be something I can put in and take out pretty easily. You know what I mean? So for right now, under our current situation, I have to have something I can get in and out pretty easily. So I want to build a deck that will just fit in the front seat, and then the seat belt will come down and hook into it to hold it in place. And then the laptop will go right on top of that. And I'm going to have little blocks of wood on there with a rubber mat. And the blocks of wood are designed so that the laptop will fit down inside the blocks of wood, so it can't move around. I'm not actually going to buy like a laptop holder, I don't think. This is a big laptop. I didn't see any options that would have worked really well. So I'm probably just going to, like I said, make a square that it just perfectly fits in, and all the wires can clear, and all 4 sides around the laptop will have something raised about that high all the way around it, so it won't be able to escape. And then there'll be I want to get a bracket to hold that other screen. That it was very inconvenient the way I had it the other day. So I'm working on all this. I'm going to get there. Eventually, you're down the road, when I have nobody riding in the front seat on a regular basis, then I can even make it more permanent, or not permanent completely. I'll always want my front seat to be able to be used. I see Carlotta or Joseph, we ride around in my car. I want to be able to still take the stuff out of the seat. I go up to see Heath in the mountains. I want to be able to take him and go and do POTA and stuff. So I need the front seat. So I have to devise this deck that's going to go in and come out pretty easy. If I put a computer rack in there, a traditional police style MDT or computer rack in there, I won't be able to get a passenger in, number one. And number two, the airbag will literally destroy it. along with anybody that's in the front seat when it goes off. And so I'm being careful. By doing it this way, the laptop stays low enough that if the airbag were to deploy, it would go over the top. It would just push the lid down, basically. The other thing is, if there's no one sitting there, the passenger airbag shuts itself off automatically, okay? That's a great thing. But if I put a computer rack in there and then someone squeezes in there, now if that airbag goes off, it's going to literally destroy their face with my computer rack. And so that can't happen. So I need something that can just literally sit in the seat, strap in. And then when I'm going to take it out, I literally just go in there and pull one plug out of the side, pull the thing up, pull the antenna plugs or whatever out, and just pull it out. And that's how I'm going to have to do it. It is what it is. Okay, so what else we got going on? We're watching this little snowstorm here. He's still running. He's still heading towards Cedar Rapids. I don't know if he's trying to get to the city before this snow gets there, but he was over here. And now he's moved further east, so he's definitely moving east. So we'll keep an eye on him in this big snow event going on in Cedar Rapids, and we're also keeping an eye down here. We do have a weather statement down here, a general thunderstorm watch that's going on currently for south of Panama City and areas around Apalachicola in the Florida Panhandle. We've got this line of thunderstorms, and we've got a few stronger cells, not strong cells, but cells moving in to Apalachicola. And so they've put up a watch, not a warning, just a watch. And then there's another line down here that's going through Tampa. I don't know if Carr or you guys are still up there, but it looks like you guys probably just are having rain right now and had rain over the last hour. Yeah, there you go, Junior. Yeah, this front's been stalled out here for a while. So if you're in this area where this front is here, this has been a stalled out mess. And then of course this big snow event all across the Midwest. I love when I do the mouse and the cat's head follows the mouse. Do you notice? You notice the orange cat in the corner? His head's literally following my mouse around the screen. That's funny. He's too old to bother with it, but he wants to watch it anyway. Right, Daddy? That's right. Oh, I'm sure they've lost a drone or two over that thing. No, Junior, I didn't actually check with the manufacturer, but I have found them for about 25 bucks. And I'm going to go middle of the road. They had some for 20. I like the $25 ones a little better. I generally will go middle of the road on something like that. It's, I could check with the manufacturer. I guess that's not a bad idea. I normally don't do that. I always buy stuff directly from Amazon. It's a lot cheaper than going through a manufacturer, but I might have better results doing what you suggested. Yeah. Okay, so that's what we got going on there. And like I said, so far right now, the solar flux is 200 K index of 1. The geomagnetic field very quiet. And the EME degradation right now is fair, with a 65% of chance of solar flares over the next 24 hours. And all bands are open tonight except 12 and 10 and 6. So hopefully, if you guys are going to get on the radio and try it, if I had an antenna, I might join you. But I got to fix my mount. All right, so that's what we got there. Let me check and see the latest here. Okay, so far the last 24 hours, we've had a radio blackout impacts have been registered by NOAA. Limited blackouts of HF radio communication on the sunlit side. Loss of radio contact for tens of minutes. Degradation of low-frequency navigation signals for tens of minutes. Okay, so and that happened just a little while ago, so that we are getting some activity now. Also, they are now predicting a G1 class geomagnetic storm over the next 6 hours. So this is predicted now, a G1 class storm. That's not going to affect anybody except if you're up in Alaska or in Canada, you'll be able to see this. Yeah, earlier today there was a flare from region 4299, and it was near the north central part of the solar disk, producing an M8.1 class flare, NOAA scale R2 moderate, that peaked at let's see, at 2039 Universal Time. So that was late afternoon for us, just a little while ago. All right. Okay, I don't see anything else on there, but we'll keep an eye on the NASA scales on the NASA scales page. And the pages that I'm using right now, because I'm always transparent with you guys, here is the resources. You guys can take a look yourself. You can even put the ham stuff on your website if you want. But there's the links to the stuff I've been talking about with you guys. Now, the next launches we've got for the going to space, not till tomorrow, 11:13 a.m. tomorrow. We've got a Falcon 9 launching from Vandenberg in California. Also tomorrow at 4:40 p.m. we've got a Falcon 9 going up from Kennedy Space Center, Launch Pad 39 Alpha, and that's a Falcon 9 with Starlink systems on board. And the next one after that is in China. On the 8th, we have 3 launches, one in China, one in New Zealand, another one in China. Wow. It's amazing. Like I always tell you guys, when we were young, when I was a teenager, okay, if there was 2 launches a year, that was a big deal. And they only launched in the whole world pretty much, with maybe a few exceptions in Russia. They all launched from here in Florida. Everything launched from here back then. And so, but the rockets were huge back then too. It was an even bigger show than today, even in some respects. We are still blasting off stuff that big today as well, but a lot of this stuff's smaller. But the point is if you wanted to see a launch, it was incredibly difficult. It's gotten a lot easier now because they're going up all the time. You could find a busy week and come stay a week up here in the Cape Kennedy area. They got great beaches. They got great stuff over there to do. There's Playa Linda Beach. It's great. There's all kinds of stuff. It's a great area of the coast. You can go visit the Kennedy Space Center and stay a week there, and you'll probably catch a launch. You got to plan it on a week when they've got 3 or 4 launches planned. Yeah, okay. I'm old, but not that old. Now, come on. I'm just in my mid-50s. I might look like I'm 80, but I'm not that old yet. Yeah. I was born right when the first man stepped on the moon. So this whole space thing started right about the same time I did. Yeah, Playa Linda is amazing. It's a great beach. There is some really cool stuff over on that coast over there, all along the space coast, from St. Augustine, which I recommend everyone visit St. Augustine. If you could only go to one place in Florida, I think I would probably recommend St. Aug. It is just an amazing place. They got the Old Town tours there, so you know, for $50 you can ride the bus all day, ride the tram all day, and go visit all of the breweries and wineries and the fort and all the restaurants and all the cemeteries and all of the monuments and all of the historical sites and all of the museums. And oh my God, I can't tell you. And you know, it's not all that expensive because a lot of the stuff there doesn't cost anything. You could literally spend one day just doing all the stuff that's free. But and then all the way down through the Space Coast right there, that's a great place to vacation, especially if you're into launches. Go over and spend a day at Kennedy, and go ahead and get the trip, get the tour, the bus tour, get taken out to see Launch Complex 39 Alpha. Get the tour goes out, and you get to see the launch assembly vehicle, and I'm sorry, the vehicle assembly building, and all of these other cool places. You get to see the old launch control. It's just a really cool tour. They got humongous, like warehouse size museums there with our real rockets and stuff that we've recovered in there, or stuff that didn't go. And it's really, really cool. They've got our actual stuff that's been in space there that you can see and touch. I think it's amazing to go see Space Canaveral, Space Kennedy, whatever they call it now. The Kennedy Space Center, I think, is what they actually call it. It's worth spending the $50 or $60 to get in. It's one of those things. I think, to me, it's more interesting than Disney World, although that can be fun too. Oh, Santa on the HR on the. Are you talking about, Heath? Are you talking about the Santa thing they do on the HF radio? Because yeah, we could find that and put it out and let everybody know about it. What they do, guys, and I don't know a lot about it, but I'll tell you what Heath's talking about. By the way, Comms Prepper's Heath. What we're talking about here is there's a group of ham radio guys every year that take turns working the radio as Santa Claus. And they will call stations, and the stations will put their children on the air so they can tell Santa Claus what they want for Christmas. And it's legal to allow someone to use your ham radio as long as you're sitting there with them and making sure they're on the right frequency and at the right power and everything. And so it's a great way to use the HF. They pick a certain channel every year. Yeah, I'd much rather see Cape Canaveral again than go to Disney. That's true. I'm not happy with Disney's management right now, so I'm not spending any money on the rat. But I love Disney from way back. So I kind of divide Disney up. The nostalgic, historic Disney, I love it. The current day Disney, I wouldn't piss on it if it was on fire. Oh, car. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, it's something that ham radio guys do, and they do it on certain days, on certain evenings, and people tune in and listen. It's kind of cool. I don't know, would that be something I should carry? I don't know. That's something I should carry live? I mean, it's nothing private or anything. It's over the radio, right? Let me see if I can see something on that real quick. CQ Santa, home of the Santa Net. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There's the link. It's home of the Santa Net. Ho, ho, ho. Santa's on ham radio. And there's your times. There's your times right there at that link right on the front page. Ham radio and Santa Claus with your children, grandchildren, and neighbors' kids. The Santa Net runs on 3.916. God, they're doing it on 80? What the F? Why 80? People have a hard time with 80. It's such a short band. 3.916. I don't even know if I can receive 80. I don't know if I can tune that far out. That's a long ass wire. Um, Check-ins begin 15 minutes before the net. So it's basically a nightly net at 7 p.m. and it goes Friday, Saturday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They've got it all figured out in here. It looks like they do the last 6 days leading up to Christmas. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Leading up to the day before Christmas Eve. So there you go. It is what it is. I think it's a cool thing. They got lots of videos in here too. If you scroll down, you can kind of see everybody doing their thing. It is a good way to show young kids the hobby and get them interested. See, a lot of people would say kids that are 8 years old or 6 years old would have no interest in radio. That's horseshit. I had interest. I had my first set of two-way radios. I was probably 7 years old. They were Radio Shack, and they were garbage. And I've always had two-way radios. Always. I can remember the first vehicle-mounted repeater I set up in my mother's car. I'd be out at my uncle's place, and I'd have one of my radios set to Vox, taped to the top of my scanner in the car, and it would be broadcasting police band to me so I could hear what's going on in the county, like a repeater. I used to do, and I was 12 when I was doing that. I've always been crazy with radios, and had it not been for the technician requiring, had it not been for the code requirement, I would have been a ham radio operator since a teenager probably. But I never could get through that Morse code. I've tried 2 or 3 times in my life and couldn't get through it. One time I was an emergency manager trying to get through it so I could use it for work. And couldn't do it. I'm dyslexic, and when it all starts flying in, everything gets backwards and nothing works, and so it kind of sucks. Anyway, there you go. 3.916. It starts November 28th, so it's going on right now. It started at 7. I doubt it's still going on. But hey, let's check it out. You know what? WebSDR. Hold on, guys. Let me configure this. Every night I gotta reconfigure the damn audio. I gotta change it from D back to C. Input C. Input C. Input C. Okay, and then I change this to input C. There. And now I unmute. And then I have to go figure out what's playing somewhere. I literally have a video playing somewhere. Christ. I'll never find it. And that still didn't null it out. Alright, now I gotta go through everything up here. It's not that. You guys have no idea how annoying this is when stuff starts playing in the background, and now I have to go find it before I can move on, because if I can't turn the audio up because there's something playing on that channel. found it. I found it. It was Radar Omega. I got that on there too, so you guys can hear alerts when they come in. Okay, so there we go. That's what we got now. So now we go to WebSDR. I'll show you guys how we do this actually. Give me just a second here. Of course, I bite off more than I can chew as always here. All right, so I'm in the WebSDR and shit. Okay, so I'm here now. I'll show you guys where I'm at. This is the WebSDR. So I'm going to filter by 80 meters. I'm going to filter by North America. And now I can now see all these stations will give me what I'm looking for. And there's certain ones I really like NA5B I like because there's no timeout limits or anything on it. All right, so here we go. We click this. Now we can listen. Alright, so now we're going to go to that frequency. We're going to go to lower sideband. And we're going to go to 3916. So this is done in kilohertz, so it's 3916. Yep, they're still on. I can hear them. That's all correct. No, I have not gotten FT8 working. I'm thinking about just buying the signal link adapter for that radio and just using the signal link adapter. I'm not going to play this game with these USB. It is such a circus what you have to go through. I never would have bought that radio if I knew you had to go through the circus that you have to go through to make the USB plug work. It's absolutely asinine. And I've gone through the asinine process on 3 different computers now, and it doesn't work. I still can't transmit. So I have a choice. I can box it up and I can ship it back, which I don't want to do because I just hate doing shit like that. Waiting a month or two, and then they'll end up fixing the one that they sold me brand new instead of sending me another one. And so I don't even want to deal with it. So I think what I'm going to do over the weekend here, tomorrow, I'm going to order me the signal link adapter for that radio, for the FT710, that plugs into the microphone port in the front, and it'll plug into my signal link box. And then I'll buy the little jumper roach for it, and I'll be on the air with FT8. I think that's what I'm going to end up having to do. It really sucks. This is why I think doing it on 80 is asinine, because if they did it on 40, we'd be hearing this guy crystal clear right now, because 40's propagating like an MFer. But this 80, I don't like 80. It's a bitch to get on. It really favors long wires, and most of us don't have enough yard for an 80 wire. And then you can use your tuner and use a 40 wire, and it's always going to work like shit. It's a short range band. I don't like it. barely picking this guy up. Okay, I wonder if I can get him better on a different one, because that's terrible right there. Where's this? This is in Utah. This is over on the other side of the country. Now I got to figure out which one it is. Let's see here. I think it's the yellow one. What is it? 3916. Let's see. I bet you this one can hear him better. Let's see. What do I got to do to get the audio started? Oh, this is much better. I guess they do trivia too.
You might want to try it, but be careful. Other people will know that here's the lyrics. Just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen. Yeah, for security, I can't give you choices if you want. Give me choices. Alright, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children.
Okay, so yeah, just to give you guys a little example here, I'm glad I found it. I found it somewhere that's clear enough that you can actually hear it. It's coming in really strong here on this particular receiver. We were receiving in Washington D.C. Now we're receiving in Utah, and so that's what's great about it. Yep, so I don't know. Yeah, that's all you got to do. Listen, if you're not familiar with ham radio and all that, the biggest thing you got to remember is if you're going to go listen to stuff, you got to put it in the right mode. Okay? I'm going to show you on here. You see here where it says the modes? Where's it at? Oh, shit. Oh, it's right here, lower sideband. You got to make sure that you're set in the right mode. It looks like this one might automatically set. It looks like. Yeah, here it is, lower sideband. See, it's in lower sideband. You can put it in whatever you want. But if you see a signal and you're listening to it and you can't understand it, it doesn't make any sense. Chances are it's not being demodulated correctly. You need to try upper sideband. Anything from 20 megahertz and up, frequency-wise, 20 megahertz and up, or 14 meters and up is all upper sideband. Everything below that, everything 30 and down, 40, 75, 80, 160, that's all lower sideband. And then you've got some signals that come out in AM or amplitude modulation, and you've got some that come out in FM, which is frequency modulation. And if you are not in the correct mode, you're going to have a real hard time understanding what they're saying because the modulation's not being decoupled properly. Yeah, no, I don't mind showing you guys this stuff. I love it. I love this kind of stuff because all this is free. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the one thing about ham radio, it's almost all free. You can go on and do everything. You don't need a license even to go listen to all these radios. You can go on these web SDRs yourself. You can actually go into big cities and go into their VHF and listen to their school buses or whatever, and listen to their business bands or whatever. There's all kinds of stuff you can do with it. It's amazing. Um, yeah, of course, the longer you listen to a radio, especially if it's something you have to really listen to, like you're working over the radio, you get good at it. You get a radio ear pretty quick. That's absolutely true. So anyway, yeah, back to the FT8 thing. I don't know. I think I'm gonna call the company I bought it from and just run through the settings with them real quick. The problem is I'm too busy during the week. I'm never here during the day, during the week when they're open. I'm just not. By 8 or 9 o'clock, I'm gone every day, and I don't get home till 7:30 at night, and I got my show at 9 here with you guys. So I don't have any time to do it. I just got to get it done where I call them and talk to them. But I'm thinking it's not I was thinking for a while there it was a setting that I had wrong in the radio or a setting on the computer. But I've now gone through the entire process step by step meticulously on 3 separate computers. A thin client, my supercomputer, and my new laptop. And all 3 of them experience the exact same condition. And that's when it's transmitting, it opens up and it begins to transmit, and what it's transmitting is just and that's it. I've turned the volume all up and down, I've changed everything around, nothing seems to change it. And so it just transmits static or dead air. And yeah, so I don't know. It's very disheartening to get a brand new piece of equipment like that. A brand new piece of equipment, and it doesn't work. Very disheartening. And especially when you pay $1,200 for it, you know? This just brings me back to my complaint that I've had with ham radio all along. And it's these radios are way too complicated. Every time my cat walks over that radio, they hit one of the buttons. They've got 5 of the buttons for the radio on top of the radio. If that's not the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. There's a few things about this radio I'm very unhappy about, and one of those is the fact that the buttons are on top and not in the front. Buttons should not be on the top. My cats walk across it all the time, and then I come in and it's on some split frequency something. It took me 30 minutes to get the radio back to where it was normal the other day, and then I come back and they had done it again. What I've had to do now is when the radio's in here and I'm going to be using it, I have a piece of plastic now I have to tape on the top. I don't use any of these buttons. There's all kind, there's these radios, they have so many buttons that you don't need. But yet all the functions I do need buttons for, they're buried in the menus. Why would there not be a button for transmit power? I mean, that's the #1 thing that you adjust up and down is transmit power. They've got it hidden behind a menu. I have to go to a menu screen and pull it up in order to adjust my power. And I don't like that. I think that's shit. Power should be one of the most important things. I'm constantly adjusting my power because I only run 50-70% most of the time on voice, 80% on voice. And I normally run at 20% on FT8, and I'll bump it up to 40 or 50 or if I'm trying to get an overseas contact. So I'm constantly using it. You can leave it on that menu and then you can use the knob for it, but then the moment you go to some other menu or whatever, it's gone and you have to go back and find it again. So it's weird things like that. Yeah, it's ridiculous, Ron. They have made this stuff so bloody complicated, and it doesn't need to be this complicated. The setup process for this radio to be set up for FT8 is ridiculous. And then when you get it all set up, and you set up all the little settings on this end and all the little settings on that end, and then it doesn't work. Well, this was supposed to be plug and play, but it's not. It's not. If you just plug it into your computer, it screws it all up. You have to download the drivers first and pre-install the drivers. Okay? Which, that's chicken shit to spend $1,200 on a radio, and then I have to manually install the drivers. What kind of bullshit is that? Okay? And then I install these third-party goofy drivers, and they don't work right. And I have all kinds of issues with them. And then when you configure everything, it just doesn't work. So I don't know. I'm happy with the radio, but I'm not. I don't know. If I could get my money back right now, like that, I'd have the money instead of the radio, I probably would do it. I probably would do it. Just because the number one reason I bought that God Bless It radio was for FT8, and it won't do FT8. It doesn't do it. And that's the reason I bought it. And it aggravates me. The noise floor is too high here to do voice. So now I literally have to get in my car and drive somewhere just so I can use my new radio. It doesn't do any good sitting here because it doesn't do FT8. And my noise floor is too high to do voice. So yeah, it sucks. I'm very disappointed right now, to be honest with you. I haven't like lost faith in Yazoo yet, but I'm a little upset that this doesn't work. All that money, you know, when you spend a lot of money on something, by God, it's got to work. You spent a lot of money, you know. But they have a 90-day replacement. We're only on day 38, I think now, or something, 40. So I'm still well within my window on whatever I'm going to do with it, and I'll figure it out, because I don't know. I can't take it back. I have to send it back, and I hate mailing stuff out, and I hate taking the risk. It's going to get mailed back up there, then it's going to get mailed back down again, and I have to have someone here the day that it gets mailed down, but I'm at work when all the carriers get here, and they won't deliver a $1,200 radio here without a signature. So it really brings up a lot of really bad issues for me. That's why I think the cheaper thing to do is to buy the $10 cable and the $10 little roach plug for the signal link, and just hook it up with the signal link. Oh yeah, I found the preset. There is a preset for FT8. Yeah, it doesn't work with mine, but yeah, I saw it in there. Yeah. What really upsets me is the fact that other people will plug it right in and it'll work fine for them, but it won't work for me. I have this problem a lot with things. That nothing plug and plays with me. Nothing. Yeah, the Zygoos are still young for me. But I'm hoping that's probably where I'm going to end up. I don't know. Like I said, I could probably get my money back at this point. I don't know. Do I want my money back? I like the radio. I want it to work. You know? I know I might have a bad radio. That's what I'm worried about. And if I have a bad radio, do I want to just keep it, knowing that I spent $1,200 on a defective piece of equipment that I'm now going to keep the rest of my life? Because I don't sell radios. It could be operator error, but I've gone through the procedure 3 times. You know, I'm not an idiot. I went through that procedure top to bottom by the numbers. The procedure, by the way, that was published by Yazoo specifically for WSJTZ or WSJTX. So, with that being said, I used the exact procedure with the exact drivers for the exact radio working on the exact program. So there was no reach around bullshit, nothing. This should have worked. It should have worked all 3 times I did it. I've got it set up on 3 different computers. 3 different computers that do nothing but put static out over the transmit. I don't think it's operator error, but it could be. I'm going to call them, I think. I think I'm going to call HRO, where I bought it from. Hey, Mickey, what's up, man? Yeah, I'm here. We're here every night. Sometimes we're bitching about radios. But anyway, yeah, so I think I'm gonna try to call them again on Monday. I've got it on my list of things to do. I'm gonna call them and see if they have a technician there that can walk through the settings with me and just make sure, and then at that point I can make a decision. Maybe I can talk to them about it. It's only $25 to buy the Signal Link stuff. So maybe that's the answer. But then again, the whole reason I bought this radio was because I was sick of dealing with Signal Link and sick of dealing with all the extra boxes and extra wires. I wanted something that would be a one plug into your computer, and that gives you sound, it gives you rig control, it gives you frequency control, it gives you everything. That's what I wanted. That's specifically why I bought that radio. Well, Junior, I have my Icom 756 Pro 2 here, which I really like. It came down to look and feel. I like both Icom and Yaesu. It came down to look and feel. I like this specific radio, and that's why I bought it. So it wasn't that I don't like Icom. Matter of fact, I'm starting to like Icom more and more. Yeah, it's probably I think because I've done it 3 times and everything I do works the first time. I mean, I download the drivers, everything. I install the drivers ahead of time, then I plug the radio in. The radio is recognized. It comes up both as a controller and as a sound device. Input and output, everything comes up. And it just transmits static. I don't know, whatever. Aggravating as hell. All right, so that's that. They are still going on here, aren't they?
Steelers, Browns. What was the one with the Vikings? Vikings and Lions. I'll try that. My Vikings and Lions challenge Iowa Hawks. What do you see at the Gerbil Farm? I would say at my Gerbil Farm it would be the Packers and the Cowboys. Yeah, Packers and the Cowboys in Green Bay. That was the game where
I think the Santa Net's over. I think it's the Sports Net on right now. Who knows, man? Kilauea will do this shit for weeks and then it will go quiet for months. Thanks, Victor. I'll put that on my show notes. It'll save me looking it up. Well, I don't know. I've sent 2 emails to Yaesu customer service. They don't respond. So I'm going to now try to get a hold of HRD, which is the people that sold me the radio. It's not a fact of whether I took your advice or not. It's whether I've had time to take your advice or not. But I'm trying to decide if it's even worth dealing with. I looked it up today. I can buy the little piece that goes in my Signal Link and the Signal Link cable for like $24. So, I don't know. I just don't want to deal with it anymore. I'm just pissed that it doesn't work. And now the antenna doesn't work. So I got a radio that doesn't do FT8, and now I got an antenna on my car that no longer SWRs. So I'm pretty much dead in the water anyway. Um, yeah, there is an earthquake swarm. We can go take a look at that here in just a minute. I've quit using maps. These damn Google Maps that don't let you rollerball in and out anymore, I quit using them. I'll go find another website. I don't know why they had to change that. It really pisses me off. I'm trying to get this to come up. That's not even showing accurate. I don't see the map I normally use. I don't know what's going on here. Alright, well anyway, we can look at it on this map, I guess. Alright, here we go. This is, we're looking at this cluster right here that happened. Look at this. Got a little mess going on right here. These happened today. And one of them here was as high as a 7.0. Now these are way inland, so there's no tsunami threat. But that's the cluster they're talking about right there. It's a fairly unpopulated area. In fact, it is mostly swamp and ice area there. All right, and what else do we got? That's pretty much it as far as the newer stuff. That's it. The only two new quakes we have are these up here, west of Anchor Point, Alaska, and of course these ones over here, Yakutat, Alaska. That's quite a cluster. I mean, there's something going on there. And this was an area that was quiet for quite some time, and now we've got this cluster. I bought a brand new FT710, and the USB to computer works for rig control and it works for audio out, but audio going back into the radio is just static. I've gone through the process of changing the bit rates and on the sound cards and everything, trust me, and it just doesn't work. It transmits like a static sound. And so I'm toying right now with, I'm going to call the company that sold it to me next week. If they can't get it working, then I have to decide whether I want to keep the radio and just spend the $24 to buy the Signal Link adapter and the little roach plug that goes with it, or do I return the radio for either a refund or another radio? Well, Junior, I don't. I personally hate the wall of buttons. I hate the wall of buttons. We developed computers because they can control so many more things with less real estate. And that's exactly why we had to go to computers. You know, planes used to have one button for every function, but then one day there was too many functions and there wasn't enough room anymore on the panels. So they had to start putting in computer screens and automating and things like that. I know I'm oversimplifying, but that's kind of how I feel about these radios. I hate the buttons on it. I wish it didn't have a single button on the radio, because the buttons I would have put on the radio aren't the ones they put on the radio. They got a button for split or something. I don't use that. I've never used that. They've got a button on there for something else that I never ever have used, but yet there's a button on there for it. There's at least 7 buttons on my radio that I'll never use, and I just wish they would have made it clean without all those damn buttons all over it. It would have been so much nicer. I don't know. I guess we just disagree on this one point. I hate the wall of buttons. I can never find the button that I need. It's easier to find it in a menu for me. But anyway, if I could hook the radio up to the computer and do everything on the computer, I would. As a matter of fact, my dream one day is to have a radio that plugs into my computer that doesn't even sit on the desk. I want it to just literally be a computerized radio, and that's it. I want a transmitter and receiver that sit under the desk and hook up to the antenna, and that's it. That's what I want. Because I'm good with computers. I'm not good with walls and walls and walls of buttons. Yeah, flex radios are astronomically, ridiculously expensive. They're marked up 10 times what it cost them to actually make the hardware. It's a ripoff. That's fine. It's all what you like, you know. I don't like all the buttons. This radio here's got this 756 Pro from ICOM. I think I counted one time. There's 92 buttons and knobs on this radio, and because of that, I don't want to use it. I don't like using it, because the 5 or 6 things I actually do, I can never find because it's a wall of buttons. I don't know. The only thing I don't like about that radio is it's a wall of buttons and it doesn't have a waterfall. Other than that, it's a great radio. It's this big when it only needs to be this big, of course. But why is it that big? The transmitter's not that big. The receiver's not that big. The tuner's not that big. Why does it need to be that big? Oh, because of the buttons. By the way, my radio has the meter, has a meter, beautiful meter. My 756 Pro has a physical meter on it that you can switch to what it does and all that. And my new one, part of the display is permanently devoted to being the meter. And it's the same exact meter, the S meter that you would see, and then underneath that it's SWR for when you're transmitting. But you can change that to output or ALC or whatever. So, you know, with these new radios, you don't lose the meter, the S meter. They're still there. Well, see, Junior, I don't see where they're removing the buttons, because I just bought a brand new radio that's got 30 buttons and knobs all over the front of it. Yeah, if I could add something to these Chinese radios that they don't have now, it would be a physical squelch knob. I like the physical squelch. Although the newer models of Baofengs do a lot better job discriminating out things that you don't want and bringing in things you do. Yeah, well, no, I think the 710 would be fine. I'm gonna have to tape off those buttons on top. I'm literally gonna have to put a piece of plastic over them and then tape it so that they don't get pressed by my cats all the time. And then I don't know. I love the radio. I do. It doesn't do the one thing I actually bought it to do, though. That's the problem. Yeah, the waterfall's great. Yeah, and they got like the dual monitor. I use dual monitor on VHF, but I'm not going to use it on HF. You can't dual monitor sideband. What the hell? The buttons on top are like band, AB, split, mode. But see, I don't need those buttons. If I press mode on the screen, it brings up the little mode thing. Okay, I press frequency, it brings up the band thing. I just hit the band. So I don't need those buttons because it all works on the screen. I just press it on the screen. You see what I mean? If I want to switch A and B, there's a little spot I hit on the screen and it switches A and B. So damn it, cats. This shit's on the air, you know. As you guys can tell, my back is killing me tonight, and I'm very aggravated. I'm very, very aggravated tonight because I took my radio out today and I couldn't do anything with it. I couldn't even transmit on it. And I'm just kind of sick of being defeated with this HF radio. I spent so much money getting on HF, and I'm still not on HF. I still can't go do POTA. I still can't go do what I want. I still can't do FT8 in my shack. It was a waste of $1,600 getting me online. Yeah. Why I use Windows? It's Yaesu Radio. Why can't they make the damn thing talk to the damn thing? I don't understand it. Why does everybody say, well, you know, you have to play with it, but you can get it working? That's bullshit. It should be plug and play. These radios all today should be built for one purpose, and that's connecting to a computer. I mean, yeah, well, with me, it's putting the wheelchair in and out of the trunk. I pulled it yesterday, lifting my mother's wheelchair into the trunk. I have a car, so the wheelchair has to go in the trunk. And I got it in and out about 3 different times, and the third time I pulled it out, I pulled my back. And so I woke up this morning, I couldn't get out of bed. I knew I was in trouble because when I took my 3 in the morning piss, I rolled out of bed and went, oh! And that's how I know it's going to be a really bad day. Someone posted a video in amateur on the Discord. Did you try that? On my Discord? No, I didn't see that. I don't feel that I'm spending enough time on Discord either, to be honest with you. Under amateur. Okay, you know what? I'm going to leave that right there. And when I sign off here in about 30 minutes, I'm going to do that video, and I'm going to sit here and I'm going to do it. I'm going to try it again. It's not like I haven't given this thing a fair shot. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know there's like a basic and advanced COM port, and you have to make sure you get those in the right order. I got that. I downloaded the drivers ahead of time. I manually installed them. Then when I plugged the radio in, all the proper things came up under Device Manager. So I'm relatively sure I got the COM ports right. I only have 3 COM ports. The 2 for the radio and the 1 for my programmer, my Baofeng programmer, and I know which one that one is. So I don't think that has anything to do with it. Yeah, and Dom, it's weather changes on my back and also pulling it. When I pull it and the weather's changing, it's like double down. I've done it on 2 different Windows 10 machines, and I did the install on a Windows 11 machine. No difference. Does the exact same thing. So whatever this is, it doesn't matter whether it's Windows 10 or Windows 11, because I've been able to actually install it on both systems. I'm getting the drivers right from Yaesu. It's aggravating. So damn aggravating, because I just so bad, I just want this to work so bad, you know? Yeah, boy, I'll tell you, that Windows 11, it looks like shit. It looks like an accident involving Apple. Terrible, terrible interface. I found a program, I think I told you guys, I found a program that changed every single user interface back to Windows 10. Everything. Everything from the taskbar, the windows, the squaring of the windows, the file manager, how the file manager works, how the task manager works, how the setup works, how the everything, every single thing in the computer, the entire user interface is set back to Windows 10. And man, I love it. So far, Windows 11 has not given me much in the way of trouble. I will say that. I did have to go in there and spend about an hour making changes and doing things so that I didn't have to create a Microsoft account. That was a pain in the ass, but I've got it now to where it's no longer harassing me because I don't have a Microsoft account. Plus, you've got the with Windows 11, it's just got a lot of stupid bullshit that you have to get rid of. I spent a good hour just getting rid of bloatware, uninstalling Skype, uninstalling Xbox controller. I uninstalled everything I could uninstall. It was just incredible how much bullshit that bloatware that they put in that thing. Yes, I don't know. I played with it again the other day, but I don't know if I had the PSK reporter on or not. It'll sit here and receive PSK. It'll receive data, and then it will send that to PSK reporter. That's not a problem. It's me transmitting that's the problem. I can hear people, and then when I hear them, it sends that to PSK reporter. So it, yeah, I'm on, but if you click it to stations that hear me, you won't see anything because it's never transmitted on FT8. It transmits, but it just transmits static. Well, I don't know how anybody can hear me. It's only transmitting static. So I don't know how that would be. I also do a lot of POTA. I don't know if that's a phone contact maybe, or how that works, but I've done a lot of phone POTA over the last month on that new radio. I bought the radio at the Hamfest. Well, it was 36 days ago. 36 days ago. I bought it in Atlanta area. I do have the signal link set up for my ICOM 756 Pro 2. I do have the signal link set up for that, and I could set that up and I could do FT8 with that. I don't want to. I want to do it with my new radio. That's the whole point. But I could. I probably what I need. I could just go ahead and hook the old radio back up and just use that for FT8. But I wanted to be able to do FT8 out in the car, like when I go to do a park. I would like to do the park voice for a little while, and then QRT, and then go on and do the same park. Just do it FT8 for a little while and grab 10 or 20 or 30 more contacts. I don't know. I don't know how that ended up on there. I wish people did hear me. Trust me. I'm very disheartened by this whole thing. Days ago. That, yeah, the last time I really dove into this and was working on it was a couple weeks ago, and then again this last week I put it in my laptop. Yes, when I transmit from my radio, I hear nothing as well, but I can see on the screen what's going out. Like if I'm talking, rah, 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 you can see it on there. When the FT8 goes out, it's a straight line, and then it goes straight line, straight line. That's what it does. And I actually pulled up a receiver and listened to what I was putting out to make sure that I was reading the display properly. And yeah, I'm putting out intermittent static. And I let that run for a while trying to make contacts and couldn't make any contacts with it because nobody could hear me. No, the power meter shows SWR. I've got it set to SWR. When it's set to power, it shows nothing, and then when there's static, it shows the static, and then it goes back to nothing again. Now, I'm using the USB wire that came with the radio. I haven't tried another USB cable, although I don't believe that could be the problem. But of all the things I can think of, that's the only other thing that I haven't tried is actually a different USB cable than the one that came with the radio. Yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of FT8. I've made 25,000 contacts on FT8. I blew the finals out of the back of a FT100 radio, making 20,000 contacts on FT8. I love FT8. I love FT4. I love contesting on FT8 and FT4. Well, Gator, I thought this was it. I mean, I spent plenty of money to be on the air. You know what I mean? I bought this great radio, and I bought the antenna mount, and I bought an antenna that ended up not having all the parts with it, and then I ended up borrowing some antennas so I could get on the air, and I'm still not on the air. And this would have been a high reward, because if I'm on the air and I'm talking, not only am I having fun because I love radio and I love propagation, but I'm also using it as content for my YouTube channel. Yeah, Ron, just so you know, I'm way too impatient for QRP. I don't do anything QRP. I run FT8 at 20 watts, and I do voice phone at 80 to 100. I'm way too impatient. Yeah, well, you know, it's a tough time right now for me. My well's running dry here at the house. My mom's in a facility, hoping to get her out soon. Have major health setbacks. The people that are usually here to help me are off working right now, and will be gone for a while. Which is good. It's an opportunity for them. It's a good thing. But it leaves me here by myself, and I'm just having it rough right now. I'm working. I got 3 clients, plus a 6-hour a day job, and my back's killing me. My health is not good, and I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to do this show every single night at 9 o'clock, and it's damn near killing me. Yeah, Junior, I've got 2 or 3 more of these USB-A plugs. They're the old ones, the square ones, like your printer used to take. And that's what it takes. So I've got 2 or 3 more of those around here. I'm gonna try them. Yeah, trip light's been around a long time. My first rotating red light that I ever bought at the fire department in 1987 was a trip light, and I'm currently using 2 big long trip light power strips underneath my consoles here. They make good stuff. They make quality equipment. Yeah, again, I too impatient for QRP. But I also don't use kickers. I don't use amplifiers. All I ever do is run no more than 100 watt. I never run more than 25 watts on digital. And I generally run POTA at 80 watts. I just leave it at 80 watts. And if it's challenging that day, if it's a really bad day and I can't get my 10 contacts, I will move it up. I'll bring up some more power. But I don't want, I don't know. The whole QRP thing is just difficult for me. Yeah, as far as my radio, I can do 100 watts all day long on mine. I ran big thick wires right off the battery, and they come right off the battery into a fuse. Each positive and negative both have a fuse, and then those big heavy wires run into my car and go directly to my radio. So I don't have a power problem at all. I mean, when I transmit, nothing dims down or any of that kind of stuff. I'm coming straight off my big battery in the front. So All right. Is there anything else, guys? We're coming up towards the end here. I'll take a look at that. I didn't realize I still had the screen on that. All right, yeah, I'll take a look at that video. I want to take a look at that video. I'll probably try that either tonight or in the morning. I really want to get this radio going so bad. Yeah, and I wasn't sure, but I've even got ferrites. I put a bunch of ferrites on here. I've been trying different things to get this to work, because I don't know what the problem is. Sometimes with HF, when it keys down the transmit, the HF power that's going out, if it's leaking into your shack, will actually cancel out its own audio coming through the audio cable. I had that before, and I literally had to wrap my antenna wire in tinfoil and run it one way and run all my other cables the other way so that nothing crossed, in order to get it to where it would transmit without turning off the sound. So I thought that might be it. So one of the things I did was test that theory. But even at 1 watt, with no power hardly going out at all, it's transmitting that same clear and then static thing. All right, guys, last call for the chat room. Tomorrow I will not be on at all during the day. I've got family stuff going on. Possibly in the evening tomorrow. I will definitely be on tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern to do our regular Sights and Sound show here, for sure. I think it would be so amazing if amateur radio actually made something that was plug and play. It's almost like, well, these are the smart kids, so we don't have to make it easy for them. We'll make it to where they have to install those drivers manually. We'll make it to where nothing works right. I don't know. It just seems so crazy to me. Boy, that volcano is getting it. That shit is getting it. Yeah, Gator, it's just I've been troubleshooting it, and I don't know if it's going to be a troubleshooting fix. It may be a hardware fix, or it may be a workaround. I don't know, because I've followed the procedure exactly from start to finish on two different Windows 10 machines and a Windows 11 machine. Yeah, but see, to me that's more gatekeeping. I don't. They shouldn't make things more complicated just because it's ham radio. I mean, I don't know. I just don't like that whole thing. All right. Well, I'm gonna watch this video, see if there's anything in there I didn't do or did differently or whatever. All right, guys. All right, I guess that's going to be it. I'm going to go ahead and call it. Yes, I agree, Ron, and I think they will. I haven't given them the opportunity. I started trying to get a hold of Yaesu, and that was my mistake. I should have went through HRD, or what is it? I forget the name. Whatever. HDR, whatever the place is called. Yeah, HRO, ham radio outlet. That's what it is. HRD, ham radio deluxe. I strongly suggest nobody deals with them. That's a bad company. It's run out of Australia, and it is a scam. HRD, that's ham radio deluxe. That's a scam. Don't get involved with it. You don't need it. HRO, on the other hand, they treated me good. I like them. I don't buy a lot. I buy most of my stuff directly from the source or from Amazon. But with big radios and stuff like this, I will still buy those from HRO. Yep. All right, everybody. Well, that's going to be it for tonight's show. This has been the Sights and Sounds of Earth, right here on Starship Adventures. And we're broadcasting live tonight from our studios here in North Fort Myers, Florida. And we call them Starship Studios. And we're broadcasting live worldwide on YouTube, the world's largest broadcast platform. And we will be back tomorrow night at 9 p.m. For another episode of the Sights and Sounds of Earth. So hopefully you guys will be here tomorrow night. We'll see you then. And I'll let you know if I got that FT8 working. We'll see you guys tomorrow night, everybody. Have a good one out there. Have a cozy night and a safe tomorrow. Stay warm. And we'll see you tomorrow night for the Sights and Sounds of Earth. 7 3s, everybody. 7 3s.